my beautiful friends. Welcome back. My name is Vicki-Lynne and welcome to my channel. If you're new here, I do vegan and plant-based meals, always oil-free, and I'm on a journey to lose some weight, lower my cholesterol, and move my body every day. So if that interests you, stick around. I always have some great recipes. I have a big playlist down below for meal preps, and we're here for another meal prep. And meal preps do not have to be this big, arduous thing. You can just do a couple of dishes. You can just prep a few things ahead of time while other things are cooking and just set yourself up for success. And that's what we all need, is just a little help. This meal prep is probably going to take about an hour and a half. I'm doing a couple of things. I'm doing quite a few things actually, and I'm going to see how much time I have, and I'm trying to do a lot. So the one thing I was thinking about making is a lemon orzo soup. Kind of in the mood for that. I know it's still summer, it's still warm, but I actually had soup stock in my freezer, and I was like, oh perfect, I'm going to use that up because my bag in the fridge of my scraps is full. I'm starting a new bag. So I do need to make more broth with that, and that I just do in my Instant Pot. It's super simple. I have a recipe for that. I'll put that up there for you guys. And I'm also thinking about enchiladas. So I did take some black beans out of the freezer also. Again, I make all of my beans because one, I think they actually taste better done at home as opposed to the canned stuff. And again, we do use the canned stuff here. You know, just for convenience once in a while. But I just do a whole bag of beans and then divide them up. You can tell I lie them flat, and then once they're frozen, I can just put them kind of in a thing in my freezer. They stand right up. And so I also have pinto beans that I've done that I do need to figure out, but that's okay, they'll last a little bit longer. And then I bought a very large bag of garlic. And we're going to tackle this bag of garlic and start using it. I have quite a few of the recipes actually call for several cloves of garlic, but I'm also going to puree a bunch and put it in a jar in the fridge. I still think that that tastes better. And you can actually just peel your garlic and leave them in a container in your fridge, so you can just mince them whenever you want something in one of your meals. Another great hack for using it, and garlic does last a long time. I probably at some point will go through all of this and freeze whatever is left over, but I'm also going to roast garlic. Now, if you have never had roasted garlic, you are missing something. It is one of our favorite things to have in the house. Instead of butter, we spread garlic, roasted garlic on our things. And I have to tell you, I've been doing this for, I'm going to say more than 30 years. But my kids would fight over these roasted garlic to put on their bread and stuff at home. And it's definitely a winner. Almost zero calories. So it's perfect if you're looking for something. You can spread it on cookies or on a rice cracker, or whatever you want to jazz it all up. So we're going to do several cloves of that, or bulbs of that. And then we're going to see, I have some tempeh that I want to marinate and to make it like a bacon tempeh. That actually needs to get used up. And I do have a block of extra firm tofu that I wanted to make into lunch meat. But we're going to see, I might need to break this down into a couple of different videos because that's a lot. And we only want to be here for a short time because it's gorgeous out and we want to go enjoy the day before winter hits us. Okay, so the first thing I have is my oven is preheating at 400 degrees, and I'm actually going to bake a couple of sweet potatoes, and we can use them in other things as the week goes on, but I also like just having them for breakfast with my non-starchy. And then I'm going to put some bulbs of a garlic on there too. So let me show you how we're going to do our garlic. So for the garlic, I'm going to take several heads, and it lasts a while in the fridge, so don't be worried. I'm going to do whole cloves though. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just trim off the edges. I think I need a different knife. I think a serrated knife would do me better. There we go. Now I'm going to take these tips and I'm going to put them in with my stuff for my soup stock. You could also just put the tips in and roast them too, but I'm just figuring that's a great way just to put garlic in my soup stock. Take some tin foil. Now, many recipes tell you to drizzle oil. You don't need the oil to roast it. Save yourself some calories. And we're just going to bundle that up. And I'll do the other two. Now, if you worry about aluminum foil, you can always wrap this in parchment paper instead, and then in aluminum foil. You can just do it in parchment paper, I'm sure. This is just the way I know how to do it. All right, so we are going to take this, we're going to put it in the oven, and we're going to cook everything. The garlic will probably take 30 to 40 minutes. I like to let it go even a little bit longer, just to make sure, without burning it, to make sure that it's nice and gooey and delicious. And then the sweet potatoes are definitely going to take about 40 minutes. I forgot the most important thing with meal prepping. Get yourself something nice to drink, put it in your little glass, and make sure you have the tunes going so that you can just like zip through this and get it done and actually enjoy it. My vegan collagen drink, I have it every day, and I love it. I'll put a link down below if you're interested in it. It's really good. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to prep some onions ahead of time. I've seen this done a long time, and I don't know why I haven't been doing it. I do know. I used to have a crappy food processor, and now I have a wonderful one. So I'm actually going to take a bunch of onions, because a lot of these recipes call for onions in the soup and in the enchiladas, and we use onions during the week just to fry them up and have them with mushrooms or whatever else. They're always great to have on hand, and you can actually, again, freeze your onions in smaller Ziploc or even a large Ziploc and kind of like put little markings in there, and it'll divide it up. Great hack. And I think I saw that from, I'm trying to remember, Flourishing Miranda. She's wonderful. She has a lot of great tips like that. If you don't already follow her, you should. I mean, she was vegan, now she's gone vegetarian. So I'm just putting a few onions into our food processor. If you've been here before, you know how much I water and cry during this, so I try to do it beforehand or whatever. But letting the food processor do it is actually even better. Okay, so we're just gonna blend up. Look at all those onions already chopped up for us and perfect for our recipes. All right, so for the enchiladas, I'm using a sweet potato, and I'm just going to slice that up. And I'm going to make them more like bite-sized pieces. Okay, so our sweet potato's done. I think the first thing I'm going to do is let's make the sweet potato filling for the enchiladas, and we also need to make the enchilada sauce. You can buy an enchilada sauce, I just don't have to have any, so I'm actually just going to make some because it's super easy. All right, so let's start with our sweet potato and black bean stuffing. We also need to do our enchilada sauce and then our soup. So I'm just taking some of the onions that I pureed. While we're waiting for that to come up, we're going to mince our garlic. Again, you can cut it up, you can do any way you want. I just find sometimes this is way easier. Look at all that garlic. All that goodness. Just cooking up the onions and garlic. And anytime you're water sauteing, because we don't cook with oil, I always keep a glass of water handy just in case it needs it, to prevent it from burning. I'm going to add in the sweet potato, and I am going to add some water in here, and then we're going to lower the temperature, and then we're going to let that cook until the sweet potatoes are tender. All right, now we're going to get our enchilada sauce going. Take our onions out. Again, chopping all those onions just saves so much time and so much of my tears. We're going to grate in some garlic. Do you want to cook it down a little bit before we add in our sauce? So now we're going to add in the rest of our ingredients, which are our spices. And again, guys, all the recipes will be down below and over on my website for you. And some vegetable broth, tomato sauce. I'm going to add in some red chili flakes because we like ours a little spicy. And then you're just going to bring this up to a simmer and then just let it simmer to kind of thicken up a little bit. I did add a half teaspoon of oregano. Again, the recipe will be down below. And I'm just doing a little slurry with a tablespoon of flour. You could use cornstarch, and which would probably have been better to keep it gluten-free, but anyway. And we're going to add that in. just to thicken up that sauce. Our potatoes are nice and tender. Perfect. We're just gonna add everything else. So a can of corn, you could use frozen. I actually had this in my pantry and it's actually a Mexican style corn. So I thought that would be perfect. We're going to put in a can of green chilies and our black beans. I'm gonna give this a stir, warm it through. We need our spices. Vamping my recipe, I'm just going to add in some medium salsa, and that's what we do when we do recipes and recipe testing. I just think it needs a little. Now if you don't like tomatoes, you're fine. The filling is still delicious as it is. I was just trying to oomph it a little bit. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to make our soup, and that's going to be pretty simple and it's not going to take very long. It's just a matter of doing your chopping and stuff. So, you know, I always like to have my stuff done before, mise en place. Always have everything ready to go, so when you just get to the stove, you're just dumping and cooking and dumping and cooking. So the first thing I want, have our onions, so we're all set there. And I do want to do some celery. Now you can do your celery any way you want. You can dice it really finely. I like it to have like a little exposure in the soup. I like to have it in my spoon. I don't like it really small, so I just divide them and then dice that. We're also going to grate in 2 garlics. We're all set there. And the last thing I have to prep is the lemon. And then we're all set to go. All right, so we're gonna need half a cup of lemon juice. Nothing really beats fresh, guys, but I mean, if you're in a pinch, you could always use the bottled stuff. I'm guessing it's gonna be about 2 lemons. So I always zest my lemons before I'm about to use them because I love to have lemon zest just to top off in recipes that I'm cooking during the week. We love our lemon blueberry overnight oats, so I always have some in the fridge. We're just going to gather up our lemon and put it in our container. And now we're just going to zest our lemons. Juice. I love my lemon juicer. I don't know if you guys have one. I never had one till I moved down here, and never looking back. So just about 2 lemons juiced. Now your squeezed lemons, there's still lemon in there. I'm actually going to throw mine in my water bottle. I'm just going to cut them up so I can actually use them. I'll take the seeds out. Waste not, want not. Okay, so we're going to make our soup. We're just going to add a little bit of water because that's what we're going to saute with. We're just bringing it to a boil. We are going to throw our onions in. Now we are going to add in our carrots and celery, our garlic. Now we're going to let this cook for about 8 to 10 minutes until all of our veggies get nice and soft. All right, now to add in the rest and finish up our soup. Super simple. Your veggie broth, again, make your own. Use the bouillon stuff, lemon juice, some water. You want some bay leaves, some lemon zest, and some rosemary and thyme. There we go. 1 cup of orzo. And 1 can of chickpeas. I make my own at home, so between 1.5 cups to 2 cups. A little more is not going to hurt anything. We're just going to bring this up to a nice boil, and we're going to let this simmer until the orzo is cooked. And towards the end, we are going to put in some lovely chopped parsley. All right, let's put the enchiladas together. So again, I'm winging this recipe. I've made it before. I always morph or use what I have or don't have in the house. And so again, it is really good, but I realized 2 things that would really make it much better. And that would be cilantro and a squeeze of lime. Can never go wrong with a little bit of acid, and cilantro, love it. Now, if you are one of those persons who it tastes like soap, use parsley, it's fine. It just needs a little freshness to it is how I look at it. So I come home, I wash my cilantro, I wrap it up in a tea towel or a paper towel, and then put it back in the bag that I got it from. Okay, so we're just going to do a little bit of cilantro in here. always go with your instincts, and this is the reason I actually started this channel, is because I have so many friends who say they can't cook or they can't follow a recipe or whatever. And you know what? You just gotta trust your judgment sometimes. And again, you're making it for yourself. And trust me, I've made stuff hasn't been really good, to be honest. That's why recipe testing comes in so handy. All right, so I am just going to add in cilantro, and then I'm just going to squeeze in half a lime. And that should just give it the brightness that it needs. I mean, again, this is really good the way it is. I just think it needs a little squirt. That's all. Just a little bit. There we go. So now we're going to make our enchilada. So I have my pan. There we go. And I'm using corn tortillas, and these have very simple ingredients, just like cornmeal and water and a little bit of lime. There's no fat in them. So you can always toast them a little bit. And in fact, I'm going to warm them up in the microwave so that they're a little bit more flexible. So now they're nice and warm. Now, if you had a gas stove, toasting them would be even better. It would add an extra layer of flavor. We're just going to take our pan. I'm going to put a little bit of the enchilada sauce on the bottom. Just helps them to not stick. Gives flavor all the way around. Take your tortilla. I'm going to put as much or as little as you want in it. And I try to make sure it gets all the way out to the edges. And this makes a lot. So I love having this, even not as an enchilada, just this mixture. And then turn it upside down. Put it in your pan. And then we're just going to complete this until the pan is full. Now comes the best part. We're gonna just slather these with some enchilada sauce. So we're gonna bake these for about 20-25 minutes, uncovered. Then I'm gonna show you how to dress them up with some cilantro and radishes. They're gonna be delicious for sure. So we have come to the end of another great meal prep, and let me just show you what we have today. I know there's other things I wanna do, but I will do them on a good time. So let me show you what we finally have at the end. So of course we have our gorgeous roasted garlic. Looking delicious. I can't wait to put that on. Some vegetables. I have my 2 sweet potatoes that I put in. I have my enchilada casserole, and as you could tell, I was starving, so I had some. And chef's kiss, it's delicious. I love it. Also, earlier I made my cheese sauce. I make this weekly, guys. And I know I say it in every video probably, and that's why I didn't show it again today, because you can just look up the recipe. It's super simple. It's delicious. And then our lemon orzo soup, which is, I've had a little bit of it, delicious too. I hope you guys try these recipes, and don't forget to join our Facebook group and leave me some comments down below how you're doing on your journey and what you're trying to accomplish. I'd love to join with you, and I hope you join with me. Until next time, guys, have a great one.